module today. Module 3, 2-bit topics. JDBC, the first one, part A, part B for JDBC. The second one, Java Beans, part C and part D. All right. These two are very important topics. Today, part A, introduction to Java database connectivity. That's the JDBC, Java database connectivity. After that, then we can do project using JDBC. Yeah. But this week, I plan to assign you the first programming project. For the first one, I may like to, not using JDBC, give you some time to digest, because we just starting learning today, this week, give you some time, play around, understanding, digest. So our first project, we do not do JDBC programming, okay? But our second, we will do JDBC programming. All right. Part 8.1, design idea of JDBC. This technology is quite special comparing with other programming language database connectivity. In this class, I like to use PHP to do comparison. The PHP way and the Java way, quite different. Some of you may have experience in PHP. If you do not have, you just, listen. Yeah. I will not give you test questions related to PHP. Yeah, but for most of you, because you have to learn 3010, that, first web course, that one, you learn you learn PHP. Yeah. All right, I just based on that background, talk about database related programming. All right. Let me start my presentation. Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, so let's look at the design idea. Yeah, so why it is important? Because that part, that background knowledge will give you some later understanding help. Yeah. All right, the first question, efficient way using databases. What do you mean efficient ways? Yeah. So here I like to use example. Think about a situation. You may have a chance to do things like this. Yeah. Although it may not be very common, but here we just talk about one special thing. Switching DBMS. Look at this problem. Switching. DBMS. DBMS, Database Management System. Database Management System. Yeah. Switching. Here, I like to use the example. Let us do switching from the first one, MySQL, second one, Oracle. Right? Yeah. As because I need concrete to talk about details, not abstract. So I use these two concrete DBMS to talk about efficient way switching from the first one to the second one. Yeah. All right. The goal, make Java programs communicate with different DBMSs efficiently. All right. Yeah. So in our Java programs, we need to connect two different DBMS. The first one, MySQL. The second one, Oracle. Yeah. Let's consider this situation. Yeah. First, at the beginning, you write a code to communication with MySQL. All right. But later, due to some special reason, you need to switch your DBMS from MySQL to Oracle due to some special reason, although this kind of thing won't happen frequently. Yeah. But just imagine in that situation, when you switch from your MySQL code to Oracle related DBMS code, how much work you need to do? Yeah. Because this question, the Java design team, they thought about that when they designed this technology. Not us. We don't need to worry about this kind of thing. But the Java team, they worry about things like this. Because their product, they need to connect to large number of different DBMS on the market. They want to make, their technology adapt to different DBMS quickly and easily. That's the question they thought about. Yeah, not our questions, right? Because here we're talking about the design idea. The design idea of Java team, not our Java programmers. Okay, so that's the reason. All right. So then they want to find an efficient solution. Okay, all right. Handling this situation. Okay, Java programs developed for one DBMS switch to different DBMS. How much code do we have to change? Okay, yeah. So this is, one of the situation. Yeah. But the bigger one, yeah, because this may not be very big in the real world, right? It could happen, but may not be super big. Okay, yeah. But a much bigger than that, the Java team, they need to maintain that technology in an efficient way, supporting large number of database vendors for the business world. So they need to solve problem like this, efficiency problem like this. Okay, yeah, all right. Ideal solution. Later, they came up with this solution. Yeah. Later, we will compare with PHP solution. PHP solution quite different. Yeah. Java solution for this question. Okay, yeah. Make the code change to the minimum. Okay, we know, yeah, switching, doing code change, a lot of work. Make code change to the minimum. Okay, that. Make the DBMS change as easy as possible. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. But how can you do that? Okay, yeah, how can you do that? Yeah, here, yeah. Before I tell you the Java solution, let me describe PHP solution here. Okay, yeah. PHP solution. PHP solution, straightforward solution. No trick, straightforward. Yeah, very natural. All programmers are familiar with. Yeah, let me just use one simple example. For example, for MySQL database connectivity, yeah, I just use one example. For example, they use the, PHP functions. Okay, yeah. For example, PHP function MySQLi underscore connect, okay? To connect database, all right? Yeah. What I mean, I just use one PHP function. You can see the function name contains MySQL DBMS, that word. That means this function can only be used for MySQL connection. You cannot use this function to connect to Oracle, right? Think about that. How can you use this function to connect to Oracle? When you move to or switch to Oracle, you have to use a Oracle specific, Oracle underscore connect function. In other words, a different set of functions. For different DBMS, use different set of database related functions. That's the PHP way. Okay, all right. Yeah. But Java team, they thought this method is not efficient because some group of people, they need to develop a set of database access function for MySQL, a set of DBMS connect function for Oracle, and all other DBMS. If you want to make PHP to support that particular DBMS. Okay? But Java team, they like to find a way, use one unified way, only one way. You can use the same way. You connect to MySQL, connect to Oracle, connect to many different other DBMS. Even for the future DBMS, you do not know. You can still use one stable, never change, that solution. So that's, yeah. And it works. They found that solution and it works well, really well. That's the Jdbc technology. Okay. Let us look at the main idea. How do they execute to make that happen, to make that, smart way, efficient way work? Yeah. All right, so let's look at next slide. Solution. The way they make it work, this title, separation of API and the drivers. You see, one short description, separation of API and the drivers, make that idea work. Yeah, so let's look at it. For two groups of people, they do two different things. For first group, that is the application programmers. Our group, we are application programmers. Okay, for us, they provide API. API, yeah. What's that? Application? Yes, programming. I tried to figure out that P. Yeah, programming interface. Yeah, good. Yeah. It's very common. Yeah, most programmers, they're familiar with that. Okay. Yeah, application programming interface. Yeah. All right. Yeah, API. Yeah, the Java database connectivity API. So they designed this set of special interface for Java programmers so they can use for accessing and manipulating a wide range of relational databases. All right. Yeah, but this part fixed. Okay. Yeah. After we learn this API, when we change from one DBMS to another one, we do not need to change this API. We use the same API. Okay, MySQL, Oracle, same API. All right, yeah. But how can this idea works so well? Yeah, because there is another part. If you only have the first half, it won't work. You need to have the second half. Drivers part, handling the DBMS specifics. For different DBMS, they have different drivers. That kind of details all built in the database drivers. So let's look at the second part, the drivers part. All right, the code, before I go to the second one, let's look at if we have these things, when we switch from one DBMS to another one, how much code do we need to change? API, we do not need to change, right? But we need to change something. You cannot, you cannot make your whole business code work without any change. That's impossible. All right? Yeah, you have to do some change. So here I give you 3 items you need to make change. The first one, driver's name. You need to change drivers, right? Now, what's the driver? Yeah, the second part of this slide, we talk about driver. All right. So here, you just, some important thing we need to have. The driver's name. Yeah, that's one change. A string, driver's name, just double quotes a string. Okay, yeah, we will see that. MySQL, we have MySQL driver's name. Oracle, we have Oracle's driver's name. Okay, all right. Second, database URL. All right, database, we know, usually we run our database on a database server, right? We need to run database on a database server. How do you connect to a database server? You need a URL, right? Okay, yeah. Basically, you need pieces of it. Yeah, next a few slides, I will show you example. Database URL example. Yeah, we will see that later. But you need a few pieces of information for this URL for connectivity, for connection. All right. Yeah. First piece, protocols. What protocols you want to use? Okay. For example, we just learned HTTP protocol, right? Yeah. That's for the basic web communication. But here, database, you cannot use HTTP. You need to use different protocol, right? At first, the protocol part, okay? Protocol and a subprotocol, all right? Yeah, so we will see that part. Other than that, domain name. You need a domain, okay? Server, each server must, have a server machine with a domain. You can find its location, domain, all right? Yeah. Port number, right? MySQL, the database server, must be running using a particular port. Okay, yeah. This port is not default port. Our HTTP default port 80 port number, but this one you cannot run on the default port number. You have to run on a different port. Okay, different service on different port. All right, yeah. Port number. After that, database number. Database number. Database name. Each database has a name. When you need to connect to a particular database, you need to use its name for it. Okay, yeah, yeah. And the later username password, right? Yeah. You have to have the privilege to make the connection, username and a password. Yeah. Think about that kind of basic information you need. Okay? Yeah. But that's easy, right? When we change that part, it's so easy. So the first 2 pieces you can see both very easy, right? That kind of change, yeah, we do not feel hard. But third part is the hardest part, called query strings. Yep. When you do database access, you do queries, right? Large number of queries. But when you do queries, you need to write query strings, right? Query statements. Yeah, so we call query statements. But for MySQL, Oracle, we need to worry about query statement. The difference between MySQL and Oracle. How much difference between them? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we know these two different types of DBMS, they use SQL, right? Query statements are written in SQL language, and the SQL is industry standard. Okay? Industry standard. All the database vendors, they must adopt this industry standard. Okay? They must adopt industry standard, same standard. Okay? But it looks like if everyone follows the same standard, the SQL strings, the query strings should be the same, but in reality, that's not the case. All right, yeah. In reality, it's more complex than that, in reality. Yeah. Because SQL has two parts. Yeah. The first part, core part. The core part is the standard part. Okay? All database vendors follow the same core part. Okay? Yeah. So no question about that. Yeah. But core part is not enough. Okay? Yeah. Core part for each vendor, they feel core part still cannot solve all my technical problems. We may have some other special problems we want to solve, but that part not covered by the core part. Yeah, so each vendors, other than the core part, they make the extension part. Extension part. All right. Then the extension part quite different. Yeah, for different DBMS, this extension part quite different. Okay, yeah. Then when you want to change from one DBMS to another one, query strings, usually we do not know in our query string which part belongs to core part, which part belongs to extension part. Nobody tells you that, so we don't know. So for that reason, then you have to do some relatively hard work to change this part, query string part. All right, query string part. Here, let me give you a simple example so you can get some idea. For example, in MySQL, when we use the select statement, there is a keyword called a limit. Limit, okay? Yeah. We know when we do select query, usually we get a multiple rows from a table. Sometimes that row number could be pretty big, so we don't want to take all the rows, right? We only want to take a block of rows somewhere in the middle. Yeah, when we do that, we use the limit keyword to do that. Okay, quite easy. Yeah, you need to specify the starting point. When you apply the limit, you need to specify the starting point. Yeah, for example, yeah, here, remember in the query statement, by convention, the keyword, we need to use capital letters. Yeah, for keyword, that's convention. If you use lowercase, it is okay, it works. But just, for the community, you do not follow the convention. All right, limit, let me look at suppose the starting point is row number 10, okay, comma. Then start from row number 10. How many rows do you want to retrieve? Yeah, let's say 25. Yeah, so I use this way. Okay. Yeah, but we need to have select at the beginning. Okay, select, table information. Yeah. At the end, then we use this limit 10, 25. Then we get that particular block of rows. So easy, so simple. But if you have this statement, if you want to switch from MySQL to Oracle, Oracle does not support this limit keyword. All right? No such keyword in Oracle. Then you need to find a way to get around it, right? You need to find a way to get around it. How to do this feature? Yeah, we want to use this feature, but how to get that? You need to search the documentation, find examples, and then make the switch. Think about how much work you need to do. Yeah. All right, so that's the query strings, that part, hardest part, when you need to do the switch. All right, yeah. So that's the API part, okay, yeah. Then the driver part for database vendors. Now, they need to develop, database, the communication part with respect to their own products. That's their own products, okay? Yeah. So the Jdbc Driver API for creating display drive, Jdbc, yeah. So here, the vendor, they need to use a different API, still API, but here, that's the driver API, okay? Driver API, yeah. Look at that, driver API, okay, yeah. For creating database-specific drivers that are responsible for accessing their proprietary databases. Yeah, they don't want to, expose their proprietary details to the outside world. Yeah, so they don't have to, to keep their, business secret. Okay, yeah, they just use the Java provided Jdbc Driver API. Okay, yeah. So that API is the same for all vendors. Okay, all vendors you can get same set of API. Interfaces. Yeah, then you just write the implementation code. Then, all right, yeah. The Java team, they do not need to worry about this part, right? The Java team, we just provide API, that's it. For the drivers, vendors' responsibility, they will make the drivers ready for Java programmers. Okay? For us, Java programmers, we just download appropriate drivers. MySQL, we download MySQL driver. Usually one jar file. Okay, yeah. Yeah, for convenience, right? Yeah, one jar file. Yeah. So each database driver, one jar file, that's enough. Yeah. After you get that, then, same API, yeah. Yeah, but the query string, because that's the string part inside the double quotes, and that's the, parameter part. Parameter part for the API. Okay, parameter, we know. Parameters pass to certain methods. Okay. The method part, that's the API part. Okay? The method part, API part. So we do not need to change API part. All right, look at after this idea, Java way can make that their design goal work well. Okay, design goal work well. Okay, all right, yeah, right. So responsible for providing their own drivers to connect to their databases. Then you can see this kind of simple idea, even for future DBMS, it also works, right? Future product, DBMS products, those vendors for future products, they just provide their own drivers. Yeah. So we don't worry. Yeah. Yeah. We just download, put some appropriate location, then we just use. How easy it is. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we complete this part. So let me move to 8.2, database preparation for JDBC. Okay. Yeah. Now we move to the next stage. We need to use the Jdbc technology. When we use that, how much work do we need to do? First, we need to do some preparation. After that, we need to do programming. Okay, yeah. Two things we need to do: preparation and programming. Yeah, the preparation part, get the database driver Java file, download database driver file. Okay, yeah, so do some web search, download. Yeah, that's that. Easy. Yeah. All right. Second, location for the driver. Then you need to put the driver file at the right place, correct location. There are two possible locations you can put there. Okay, yep. The first one, here I use this bracket around your web app. Yeah, because your web app application has a root folder, right? Yeah, root folder. Yeah. Under that, there is a web-inf folder. And under that one, there is another one, lib folder, library, yeah, lib, lib folder. You just copy, drop the driver jar file into that folder. Yep, that's the right location. Okay, yeah, but that's for the first case. Another case, you have another option. You put in a Tomcat installation. This bracket around Tomcat, I use this for your Tomcat installation location. Yeah. Because for this class, we use Eclipse to connect. So we do not directly use Tomcat. Yeah. So in module 1, I show you Tomcat related activities. That's just for your background knowledge. Okay. For our development, we will not use that way. Yeah. But here, if you put your driver file in this location, you only need to put there once. Next time, when you need to use MySQL driver for other web applications, yeah, it's already there. You can use directly. Yeah, that's for the second option. Yeah. But this second option is for the production server. Production. Typically for production way, we do this. Yeah. For development way, yeah, so we, for simplicity, we use the first way. Yeah, because for development version, usually we do not need to maintain a production server. Okay, we do not maintain a production server. Yeah, so that's why we do not need to do things like that. Okay, yeah. All right. Make sure that your database server is up and running. Yes, yeah. Here, talking about database server, So for this class, we will install Exempt. Web Development Bundle software. Yeah, many of you already installed it. Yeah, if you went through that Web 3010, yeah, already installed it. But if not, don't worry. Yeah, I will provide you tutorial. Yeah. If I do not have time today, I will show you next time. All right. I just upload my tutorial, yeah, and provide you Exempt link for your convenience. Yeah, you can download, install, yeah. Then we can use. Yeah. So I feel, yeah, because based on the time we have at this point, I may not be able to run a demo today. We need to do a lot of things. But I leave that part next time. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Verify that you have created and populated the database. Yeah. Usually, you need to have the database script. Database script available. Usually that is .SQL file. Something .SQL file is a text file. Okay, text file. You can use a text editor to open it up and view the structure and the data inside the file. Okay, yeah. So then you create a database and populate the database. I'll show you next time. Okay. Next class, I will at the beginning I will spend quite some time to show you, our first JDBC example. Okay, yeah. So then you can play around. Yeah. All right. All right, and then database URL. So get that part ready for your programming. Next step. Okay. Yeah, for MySQL, I'll give you an example here. All right. You can see the first part, JDBC. Yeah. All right, colon, MySQL, colon. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I call the protocol, right? JDBC colon subprotocol, MySQL colon, yeah. Because when you change to different DBMS, you need to change the second part. Okay, yeah. Oracle and other different DBMS, you need to change that part, colon. Then domain name, localhost, then MySQL port number, default port number. This is the MySQL default port number, 3306, default port number. Then slash, then your database name. Okay, you need to replace this one by your database name. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely you need to have your account, username, password ready also. Okay, yeah, yeah, because you need to have that part. Okay, password for your account. Okay, but for MySQL default one. Okay, yeah, default. After you install it, if you do not change anything, you just take the default setting, the username, it's called a root. The password, nothing, all right? The password. Empty string. Empty string, okay? So when you pass password as a parameter, double quotes, nothing. Yeah. Double quotes around nothing. Okay. Yeah. No space. Okay. Yeah. Empty string. Okay. Yeah. So that's the default password. All right. Yeah. When you have these pieces of information ready, then you can do database program, JDBC program. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the next slide, let me talk about JDBC program. Yeah. How many things you need to do? Our 8.3 JDBC program. All right. All right. First, we need to use a set of JDBC API interfaces. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First, loading an appropriate driver after we put JDBC DBMS driver in appropriate location, you need to load it into your programming running environment. You need to load it, right? After you put your driver at some appropriate location, it won't be loaded automatically. It won't be loaded automatically. You need to manually load it. All right? You need to manually load it. So this step, we need to write a code to load it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but we do that. Yeah. Next slide. Here, I just let you know, for the first part, we need this driver interface. Okay. We need this driver interface. Yeah. All right. Loading an appropriate driver. Second thing, connecting to a database, we need another interface for database connection. Yeah. Here you can see the font I use is the, for coding. That font is specific for coding. That means the in your programs you use the same word, same spelling word. Okay? The driver connection. Yeah. Second interface. The third one, creating and executing SQL statements. When you do that part of work, you need a statement interface. The third interface, all interface, not Java classes, Java interfaces. Okay? Yeah. So you know the difference between Java classes and Java interfaces. Yeah. Yeah. Number 4, the last one. We only need to use these 4 interfaces. All right. Processing the result. Query result. After you get a query result, you need to do data processing. All right. Processing result. We use this result set interface. Just these 4, we can do JDBC programming. Yeah. But how to use these 4 interfaces? Next slide, we will see how to use these 4 interfaces. One by one. Next slide. All right. Now JDBC programming part. The first step, load the driver. How to load the driver manually. Now, I mentioned that manually. Yeah, this line. Okay. Capital class. Yeah, that's the Java class. In Java, there is a class called capital class. Okay. Yeah. In this class, here we use class dot static method, for name static method. when we need to load a specific Java class into the running environment, our current running environment, okay? Yeah, let's say JVM, all right? Yeah. Java virtual machine running environment, okay? We need to use this line to load a class name, okay? A class, yeah. Then the driver's name, double quotes, com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Yeah. Each DBMS, there is a corresponding driver's name. You just change, search the web, you can find a particular driver's name for that specific DBMS. Oracle, yeah, you just find Oracle. Yeah. Derby, many other different DBMS. You search the web, so you can find the, drivers, the class name with package path, full package path to it. All right. Establish a database connection. The next step, create a database connection object. You need to create a database connection object to do your query. Okay? Yeah. The second step, 2 lines. Yeah, because it is the line is quite long, so I break it into 2 lines. Yeah. All right. Yeah. The first one, the connection. Yeah. All right. We know the connection is an interface. Okay. Yeah. But when you import, yeah, usually when people import this package, Java SQL .star, you import the whole package, then you do not need this part, right? Because you already import the whole package. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do not need the package part, okay? Yeah, you only take connection, right? But because you still need the data type part. That's the data type, okay? Yeah. But if you do not do the import, then you need this whole thing. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then driver manager. Yeah, here, because connection is an interface. We know an interface does not have a constructor. Yeah. But if we want to create an object of this interface type, we need to use some other class to help us to create it. Yeah, no constructor here. So here you can see we do not use constructor. We use another class called a driver manager. Driver manager class. Dot get connection. Get connection method. Then URL, username, password. Okay, yeah. We collect from the previous slide. Yeah. This way. Okay. Yeah. After this line, you have a connection object ready for database queries. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's step number 2. Step number 3, query statement part. Create statement objects. Statement objects. Okay. Yeah. How to create? Yeah, to execute SQL statements, you need to get a statement object first. Yeah. All right, here, this is a declaration step. Yeah. Although you can, you can use 1 line. Yeah, here we have 2 lines. Yeah, although you can put in 1 line. Yeah, the first line is for declaration. Yeah, if we import the package, you can skip the package part. Okay, yeah. If you import, you can skip the package part. Yeah. All right. You can use statement directly. Yeah. Then the first declaration, second one, because this statement also interface another interface. There is no constructor. We have to rely on some other object calling certain method to create it. So here we use that connection object. We call create statement method. Then this is our query string. Okay, one query string. Put inside the double quotes. Okay. Then you get a statement object. The next step, you need to execute the statement object. Execution, run execution, query execution. You will get a database query part done with that step. Yeah. All right, that's our execute queries part. Yeah. All right. Look at how do we do the query execution part? Yeah. Here, yeah. So remember, so here, so basically we consider 4 types of queries. First type, select. Second, insert. Type number 3, update. Case number 4, delete. Yeah. These 4 types of queries. Yeah. But select is different from the other 3. Yeah. So we separate. For select, we need to consider process return the result. So we need to use this result set interface, another interface. Okay. Yeah. Then use the statement object, call the query method execute query. So it will return the query result to this. This RS is the reference. Little RS, reference of the object. That contains the data. What kind of data I will explain in the next slide. What kind of data it is, we will see in the next slide. Okay. Query result goes to RS object. Result set object. Okay. Yeah. But for the remaining 3, we won't have this kind of thing. Okay. We won't have this kind of thing. So that's why it's different. All right. Yeah. Then we need to do one thing. After that, you get we need to extract data from result set. Extract data. Okay. Yeah. How to do that? Next slide. Okay. We do this next slide. Okay. All right. See code example in next slide. Okay. All right. All right. Then for insert, delete, or update statement, then because we do not need to process return the result. Okay. We do not need to process return the result. All right. Yeah. For that reason, you can see you just call statement.execute update. Okay. This update works for these 3 types. How about that? Insert, delete, update. We do not use 3 different methods. Okay. We do not use, execute, insert. We do not use execute, delete. We use execute, update to cover all three types. Yeah, pretty easy. And you do not need to process return result. Okay? Although there is a return number as an integer. Integer tells you some information. Yeah. Most of the time, we do not need to look at that integer. Yeah. But sometimes you may like to see, that integer number to give you a little more information. Yeah. There is an integer return value. Yeah. But most of the time, we do not look at it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Question. Here, there is one question before we move to our last slide. Next. What to do if some of the values in your query are unknown? Look at that, unknown value. Yeah. Yeah. Look at it. Think about it. What do you mean here? Okay. All right. Think about when we want to do query. Yeah. Here, let me give you an example. When we want to do query, with first name equals something and last name equals something, but we do not know the first name value and the last name value. Okay? Only where a user runs that query, the user provides first name, last name. Look at that. But when we write the program, we don't know the user's first name, last name. We don't know. Nobody knows. But when a user uses our web application, user fill in first name and fill in last name, then do the query. Okay? But these values are known. How do we make the query work? That's the topic of our part B. Yeah. Next time I talk about this one. Yeah. Yeah. I need to spend a lot of time to explain how to make it work. Okay. So that question, next time, part B. Yeah. Next, let me show you code example. Basically, my code example want to show you the, how to process result set object, that part. After you learn that part, pretty much you can do the JDBC program. You have everything you need for JDBC programming. All right, yeah. So let's look at our, last slide. Extract data from result set. Yeah, I just get a simple example. Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah. First, yeah, look at this query string. Yeah. So we designed this. Select ID, comma, first, comma, last, comma, age from employees table. Yeah. You just imagine some employee table. Yeah. I didn't give you the complete table design. Yeah. Although it's available, I searched this example from web. We can easily find it from web. Yeah. But here I do not plan to run this example, so I do not need to give you all the details here. Yeah. So we designed the query string in this way. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then this paragraph covers everything we need. Yeah. So not too long. So let me explain. Yeah. I have 8 minutes. Yeah. I just explain the, relatively hard part. All right, because the connection part, we understand it already, right? Yep. So, and statement part, we just learned, create, yeah, we have both. Yeah. And execute a query, we also learned that, right? Yeah, previous slides. The only thing we need to understand is the while loop. That's the only thing we need to learn. Okay, yeah, processing. Yeah. All right, look at in the while loop, this inside parenthesis, rs dot next. This next method, what's the meaning of that? Let me explain its meaning so you can understand better, yeah, this code better. All right, first, let's look at the rs object. Little rs, we know it's a result set object, okay? rs, okay? Result set object. Okay, what's that? The object format. In your mind, you can imagine it comes from the select statement. The select statement usually returns a table result. So that is a 2D data. So you have rows, you have multiple rows. Each row, you have columns. So multiple rows and a column. So the typical table structure like this, 2D array structure. Look at that, 2D array structure, all right? Then in the while loop, while loop allows you to access row by row, okay? Yeah. Each iteration, you retrieve one row, all right? You retrieve one row, all right? What is this next? Next method, from the name, you can see it moves reading pointer to the next row. That's the meaning. Yeah. How do you tell the program which row you want to read, right? Which row you want? You need to use a special pointer to tell the location of the row, right? Yeah. At the beginning, before you call this next, there is a reading pointer. It is placed ahead of the first line. At the beginning, ahead of the first line. Okay, beginning location. Okay, beginning before the first line. All right, yeah. Then you call rs.next. rs.next method. It moves to the next location. That point to the first row. Okay, yeah. Move to the next. Yeah. Then inside rs.getInteger. When you have integer, get integer data ID. Yeah, because the first field ID is the field name. Okay. The second age also integer. You use this way, get age. The third, it's a string, you call get string, and so on. It's a double, you call get double. Okay, it's a float, you call get float. All right, yeah, you can find appropriate data type. Yeah, all right, yeah, but here there is another option. Yeah, that is many times when you read the code, you see 1, 2, 3. Okay, this ID is the first field. So 1, yeah. Look at the order of the fields. Okay, 1 is the first one, so you can use 1. All right, age is 2, you can use second field. First is the third field, last fourth field, and so on. Okay, now sometimes, especially you don't want to type many words, the field name words, long name words, you can use 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. All right. Other than that, so then each iteration, the pointer moves to the next row, and so on. All right. If there is one row available, it returns 2. All right. Yeah. But at the end, there is no row empty, you move to the next. Last row, another call, it will return false. Because there is no row, no data. No row, okay? No row, it will return false. You get out of the while loop. It's false. If there is row, it's true. Okay? That's true. So you can keep going, row by row. Out of, because at the end, you call dot next. Or false, nothing, false, you stop. So natural, right? Think about that. Okay, very natural. Okay, all right. Now, I think after this lecture, I give you all the basics, all the necessary information for programming. Next, I just need to show you a working example. You can play around, you can study my code, play around, then you know, pretty much ready for Jdbc program. Okay, all right. But I'll give you plenty of time, preparation, digest. So then for our second program part, we will do this type of program. Okay. All right. That's it. 5:14. So we stop right here. Okay.